that sign? That is the Maine-New Hampshire border. And I am in New Hampshire. And the minute I cross this, I'm going into Maine, the last state. So I'm in Maine, I'm in New Hampshire. I'm in Maine, I'm in New Hampshire. And I'm staying in Maine now, baby. This is the end. Okay. It's August 8th, and we're in the shelter here. We did 17 yesterday to get here. But it's supposed to rain. There's a front coming through with a lot of storms. Hopefully it'll be over around noontime, because we don't want to do the notch and the arm going out of the notch in the rain, because it's pretty tough with the boulders and the rocks you got to climb and everything. It'll be slippery. So I am just here sewing my gaiters, because I put new Velcro on in the shoe, in my new shoes, and it's not holding so well. So I took it off and I turned it around, so hopefully that'll work. Keep myself busy, otherwise I'll get real antsy in here. But it's raining right now, and it's about 8 o'clock roughly, so that's what we're gonna do for a while. It's August 8th, and I just left the shelter. We were waiting for a while because it looked like a front was coming through with rain, and it did rain a little bit. But now it's stopped, and it's supposed to be 0% till around noon. It goes up to 35, 40% thunderstorms, and then goes back down to 25%, partly cloudy, sunny. So I'm hoping it clears up. You can see the fog on the top of this first hill. There's a shelter about 4 miles from the other shelter, which I'm going to go to. Check out the weather. The weather is good. I may try to do the Mahoosuc Notch, and at the other end of it is a campsite before I do the Mahoosuc Arm, which is a really steep climb up. It's supposed to be pretty difficult. Don't want to do it on slippery rocks, but if I go to the top of that one, there's a shelter, which would make it about 10 miles for the day, which would be good, but we'll see how the weather holds out. I don't want to do that if it's really bad. Anyway, so on to this other shelter. Maine mountains may not be quite as high, but they definitely have their challenges. They put rebar into this section because it's so steep going up there. It's going to be kind of cool climbing it, but it's wet, so I got to be really careful. All right, I made up the rebar, and then a continuation, because I have to go up those rocks to get to that ladder up there. Yeah, this is, I just wish it was dry, but this is cool. I'm going down the other side of the mountain, and the I guess it's a lot of marshy, and this is what I get to walk on. Got to be careful because wood's wet, so you can't, especially on the slanted ones, go too fast or you'll slip right out. That's why they have those cleats on there for the ones that are real slanted. So I just heard some thunder, so I'm in a little bit of a hurry. See if I can get to the shelter. Don't want to be up on the mountain or anywhere near the top when the thunderstorm comes. But I mean, the sun's trying to break through, but there's also thunderstorms around. So we'll see what happens. Okay, it's August 10th, and I gotta talk close to this because it's windy up here. But we stay at the shelter right before the Mahoosuc Notch. We're on top of a small, well, relatively small hill. Then we go down a steep descent into the notch, and that's the hardest part on the trail. Then we go a really hard up climb. But you can see behind me, the fog is blowing off, and on this side is to the east. You can see the sun's up. It's supposed to be a good day, only a slight chance of rain, and looks really nice down there. I think we have to go down somewhere over there, but it's going to be, no, it's going to be north, right? North over here is where we got to go. Entered the Mahoosuc Notch at 7:53, and it's like this the whole way, maybe even worse as we get further down. And if you look in the crevice down there, there's snow still down there. So they say that kind of keeps it cool in this notch because it was hot up there, so let's continue with the jungle gym. Far I've gone about 150 yards and it's already 8:15. It's quite difficult. A lot of fun, but now it's even more difficult because the rocks are pretty slippery, so you gotta be really careful because you get hurt serious if you're reckless here. This must be the infamous tunnel area because it's a little hard to go over the top. I guess you could, but everybody seems to go through the tunnel somewhere around here. So that's what I gotta figure out. Which way is best? What'd you say?
We can get through it with our packs on.
You sure?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Then I'll come that way. Come on, let's see your mountain climbing skills. This is like everything they said it was. Yeah, that's what I gotta squeeze through now. Well, we made it through the Mahoosuc Notch in 1 hour and 20 minutes. Considering that the rocks were still wet from yesterday's rain, I think that's pretty darn good. And it was every bit as challenging as they were saying. Big boulders, you had to go up, you had to go down, you had to go under. It was kind of cool. It was fun. So I just got done climbing the Mahoosuc Arm, and it was hard, but it wasn't really harder than anything else we've done, like the Kinsman. That was really hard, and the Wildcats were hard. It's just that towards the top, it was all this flat rock that you had to get up. And with the rain, it was slippery and things like that. But yeah, I'm happy. I feel really good. I'm not overly tired. It's cool. It's drier today. It was a good day to do this. I'm glad we only did 4 miles yesterday and then stayed at the shelter to do it today. It was a good choice. And there's everything in the distance. It's a nice day, partly cloudy. And this is the kind of rock I'm talking about, only it's a lot steeper. And way in the distance, I believe down there might be Mount Washington that's covered by the clouds. So from here on in, after about 50 miles, it'll get a little easier. But I think we did some of the toughest right now in the very beginning. So off I go. If I were to accidentally fall off those boards, that's how deep I would go. So that's about up to above my knees, up to mid-thigh, if I were to step in that. And it's not stiff mud. It's pretty goopy mud. I'd sink right down in that stuff. So you got to be careful in these upper mountain bogs, because you could be full of mud if you have one wrong step. So here's a scenic overlook just on the other side of that mountain that I peaked, and it's really beautiful. You can see a golf course in the distance and ski slopes in the distance. And somewhere between here and that mountain, we go down a little bit and is the shelter with a small lake. So I have to take the trail down. This is this fire tower. It just has a ladder that comes up, so that's different. Usually they have stairs and there's no windows here. But I don't know what lake that is. That might be the lake that had the shelter at, and then we came over that little peak and all the way around to here. I did the 0.3 to this. Jeff and Tennessee, they went on, but I wanted to see. And where is it? Okay, there's Mount Washington over there, and then Mahoosuc Notch is right down there, and we had to come up the arm, which is that. It was really steep, but coming up this one over there, that little hump, man, the top was just as steep and just as hard. So, but that arm was pretty challenging. And here's that golf course we were seeing in the ski slopes, but we were looking at it from over in those mountains. And so So this is more, I think, to the east. Now we go more to the north, that way. And that's the direction we're going in, to the north. And I don't know what these lakes are over here in the distance, but there's some good sized lakes. And then the west is over here, and then we go back to Mount Washington. So it's really beautiful. But anyway, we're going, oh, there's the road down there that we come to, Route 2, no, I don't know, 2 or Route 26. But we're gonna go past that to the shelter. And I got plenty of food, except for snacks. I gotta get snacks wherever I can. So I'm gonna go down to that road, big parking lot, hopefully get rid of my trash. And off I go to the shelter, which is about another 3 or 4 miles. Well, we came down from that mountain way up there, and we kind of went around behind all those and around. So now we're almost down to the parking lot. Guess we're about 2/3 of the way down, and this is the trail right there, going down here somewhere. But yeah, it's beautiful, and it's a long way down, it's a long way up. But that's where we were. This is even a better shot. I mean, there are the mountains up there. And down there is Route 26 that I got to go to. And right now, I don't know which way the trail goes. Can't go off the ledge there. So I think it goes off to the side here somewhere, or over there somewhere. I know I just came from a blaze right there. So let's see where we go here. Yeah, here it is. And this is a lot of mica embedded in the rock. You can see all the shiny spots of mica. And yep, this looks like the trail going over into there. We don't want to fall over the edge here. Came down to the parking lot at Route 26. It was a long down, but they had great trail magic here. So I'm going to show you these guys who gave us great trail magic. So here's the chairs, and they had trail magic, hamburgers, hot dogs. Hello everybody. This is the Trail Magic Gang. What do you call yourselves?
Dick.
Dick?
Debbie and Jean.
And thank you very much. They had hamburgers, hot dogs, fruit, had salad, all kinds of stuff for us, for the through hikers. And boy, was it was really worth it when we came down here. We were so hot and tired and everything. So thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate it.
Our pleasure coming.
A lot of fun.
Love to have you. Yeah.
It's August 10th, and it rained last night, and I slept in my tent. It's drizzling a little bit now, but the sun seems to be breaking through. Hopefully it's not going to be a rainy day. I don't know what the forecast is, but it's been sprinkling. But a girl came into shelter last night, and on southbound, so she'd be going on these planks the direction that I was going through this little bog section. And when she got to right there where that note is, which she wrote, it says go around. That's the handle of my trekking pole. My trekking pole are a little over 3 feet, and I did not reach the bottom. So I don't know how deep it is, but she fell in there. And she said she sunk all the way up to her belly button and didn't touch the bottom. So that's even more than 3 feet. And she had to grab onto the boards here and try to pull herself out, and she was covered in mud and muck until she got down to the shelter where she washed in the stream. But these mountain bogs, it's like quick mud. I don't know how deep it is, but if it was over her head and she didn't grab onto those boards, she could have kept sinking down, because she said she didn't reach the bottom and she kept sinking slowly every time she'd move around. So there are some things that you have to watch out. So I have to go through there now. I think this is the only really boggy place. And up the other side. This is like a Twin Peak mountain, and down to the road. Well, I got a hitch to Andover. I'm in the back of a pickup. It's 9 miles to the town. And it's supposed to be sunny today. That's what some of the trail workers said, but it's cloud and I'm cold back here. Just have a t-shirt on, but I'm so glad I got a hitch. It was a third car. This road's not well traveled, so it took me a good 20 minutes before the third car came by. But a nice old couple in there. They have a dog in the back seat, so I had to go back here in there, but I got a ride, so that's great. And anyway, I'm gonna resupply and see if I can get a hitch back out right away and then continue. I got one climb out of the road, and then it's supposed to be an easier section like ridge running and only small ups and downs, which will be really nice for a change because it's been tough the last 4 or 5 days. I think it's the 11th, and we're heading back to the trailhead after I took a Nero yesterday at, what was it, the Red Hen in, what was the town?
Andover.
Andover, I always get it wrong. In Andover, I was only going to resupply there, and then I saw these guys here, and I just got sucked in. And it was nice because it was free to sleep on the porch or tent in the back, and I paid $10 for a shower and to do my laundry, so hey, it was worth it. And the food was really good there, so I stayed the night. And now we got a hitch back in the back of the pickup truck here. I'm sitting on wet wood chips, so that's comfortable. So here's the crew. Hi. And this guy I've seen several times periodically, always at these strategic places. But he seems to find them. Anyway, so we're almost there. Little bouncy ride, but after we do this climb this morning, the terrain should get a little easier for the next 35 miles, and I'm looking forward to that. Well, I made it to Old Blue Mountain, 3,600 feet. So this is the last major climb for about 35 miles till we get to Saddleback, which is a bigger climb, but it seems like it's not as steep. This one wasn't too bad, but still, it was a significant climb. And you can see that's Ozzy over there. He's a northbounder, first time I've seen him. So there's the mountains. We came from, I think, way in the distance there. Underneath the clouds might be Mount Washington area, I'm not sure. But so we go, I guess, this way. And there'll be some small up and downs, maybe 300 feet or so, or less. But for the most part, I should be able to do over 15, I hope. I'm shooting for 17, and if I feel good, I may go for the shelter at 21 to make up for the Nero I took yesterday. come well into this supposedly easier section after Andover. Did the initial climb before, as you saw. And if I had to title this, I would say Roots, Rocks, and Mud, because this is as annoying as Pennsylvania was with the little rocks, the ankle breakers, because you can't really get a good stride going because there's just constant roots and rocks. And what you see right here is actually well, almost a better section, but more roots, more rocks, and you gotta be careful you don't slip on these roots and things. But yeah, it is easier than climbing those steep rocky mountains, but as far as going faster, yes, a little bit faster. Still these roots that you gotta watch. You're stepping on them. And then there's mud and planks in between them. A lot of times are just really difficult to navigate and go at a good pace. So anyway, so much for Roots, Rocks, and Mud in Maine. Came down the Bemis Road, and we got some trail magic here. And the vortex has sucked everyone here in, because I am the only one with my backpack on right now getting ready to leave. And this is Susan, one of the trail angels. And John?
Susan and John.
Oh, Susan and John.
And Paul and Donna.
And Paul and Donna. Thank you very much. And they have hamburgers and hot dogs and all these goodies around here. And,
before you leave, I want you to, would you come to the front of the truck for a second?
oh, sure. I have to come to the front, so I hope I'm not in trouble.
Oh, you are in trouble. Check out my license plate.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. Wow.
And my name is John Holmes.
Really?
It really is.
Wow.
That you've heard of John Holmes before.
I've heard, but I'm not sure I know all the details.
Well, I'm not that John Holmes.
Okay.
But my name is John Holmes.
Uh-oh.
I was a butcher. So I have the trail name of Meat Man.
Meat Man. Oh, okay.
But the other John Holmes was a porno star. And that's
Okay.
a lot of people
A
realize.
different kind of meat man.
Yeah, a lot of people realize that.
Yeah.
So this has been a conversation piece on the trail.
Wow.
But anyway, we're very glad you stopped.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, this sure makes everybody feel good when they come down that mountain and they see trail magic,
Exactly
I'll
what
tell
we're
you.
doing it for.
Thank you
That's
so
all we
much.
want. You're
Yeah,
very welcome.
because most people are not getting the calories that they need.
All right, right.
And so I am on my way
Okay.
because I have to get to the next shelter.
Okey-doke.
So take it easy, guys. I'll see you down the trail.
Have a safe hike.
Background is Lake
Moose.
Moose, Look,
Me, Gun, Tick.
Tick.
Spelled
Moose
with
Look Meek Guntick.
with
That's the name.
TIC at the end.
And they are the people that are helping me say that name.
We actually have a place right down on the
Oh, really? Wow. Thank you. I came out to the road and we got some trail magic here. And Rose finished August 2nd.
Yes, I
Yes,
did it.
she's August 2nd, and now she's back here giving us some trail magic. And this is great because we're just at the road to Rangeley over here. And I'm going to go up and try and resupply at the hostel 0.3 up because I don't need a lot. But a bunch of the other guys here, for sure, Little Knife and the other fellas, so this is really good. I believe it's July 13th. We stayed at a shelter near Seabur or Seabreeze or something, shelter near a lake, beautiful lake. Took a picture yesterday. And of course it rained again, so I got a clear spot where I could set up my tent before it rained again. It rained last night, so I packed up. Everything was wet again. But it's a nice day today, sunny, and at the parking lot before you start climbing this mountain, which is Saddle Mountain, Rose had trail magic, which you saw before, and that was really nice. I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was pretty easy hiking to the road. That was about 10 miles from the camp, so I did that by lunchtime. That was good. And whenever I can do 10 by lunchtime, that sets me up for possible 20. But with this climb here, I'm not sure. After I go over the saddle and the horn of this mountain, it's all above tree line. Then down the other side a little bit is a shelter. That would be 17 miles. So that would be a good day. 2 days in a row like that, and that makes up for the 0 I took the other day. And it's really beautiful. Something about here is a lot of lakes, and you can't really see many towns. You know, there's a few dotted here and there. So I resupplied a little bit for lunch items and snacks at this hostel that was no electricity. So all he had was a Tupperware thing, but fortunately he had some Spam and a sausage stick and a few tuna packets, which is really all I needed. So I didn't add too much weight. This is what you can see from, I'm not to the top yet, but this is what you can see. It's really nice. See the lakes in the distance. Down the bottom right there is a lake that's in between these two, I don't know, little peaks. And so all the way around, and I still have to go up about another 150 feet or so. Anyway, let me go. Okay, I'm almost to the top of Saddle Mountain, and just got to go up these last rocks here, and then I'll be at the top. I didn't realize that this was above tree line. I thought they were all just below it here, but apparently Maine has a few in this area above tree line besides Katahdin. That's where I gotta go. I gotta go up there, that's the top. Alright, I made it to the top of Saddleback, and I'm gonna show you a panoramic view. It's, you can see 360 degrees pretty much. So over there is Sugarloaf, or I mean, yeah, Bigelow's. Then in the distance, Sugarloaf. Well, I guess this is over towards the west. You can see all the lakes. That's where I came up over that. It's like an old tower was there. And back over. Just beautiful up here. Just up on the saddle, the back of the saddle part of this mountain. So here's the saddle part, and then that's the horn part. So I gotta go down there and up to the horn, and then on the other side of the horn somewhere is the shelter. So I got plenty of time to do that today, but it doesn't look like a real hard climb. We'll see. This is the August 14th, and we're coming down the mountain. I'm approaching the campsite. I'm maybe about 2.5, 3 miles away, and these are some of the mountains. In the distance there is Saddleback. I think it's right over there, and it's just kind of neat. We're right down below Sugarloaf, the ski resort. I didn't go all the way up to the top. There's a blue trail that you could. And I can hear that little stream that's way down there. As we go, we have to walk down here.